I believe we're ready on Chance Tushimi, and then we would be ready on Sebe as well.
Chance Tushimi, Ms. Robinson.
Good morning.
Good morning, Ms. Robinson. All right. Do we have an interpreter on this file? All right. All right, so sir, Mr. Interpreter, I'm going to have you state and spell your first name and last name for the record.
First name is Jean. Last name is Jack. Jack.
Okay. Please raise your right hand, sir. Do you solemnly swear or affirm that you will truly, accurately, and impartially interpret in the matter now before the court and not divulge confidential communication? So if you got under the penalty of perjury. Okay. Just let me know if I get going a little fast, all right? Okay. All right. So we're on the record in docket 2401331. And that is people of the state of Michigan versus Chance Tuishimi. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mrs. L.
Gabrielle Zell, Assistant Prosecutor for the People.
Ms. Robinson.
Karen Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Mr. Tuishimi.
All right. And sir, you are Chance Tuishimi. All right, thank you. This is time set for a sentencing in the matter. And Mrs. L, is there any restitution on this matter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I have and I'm checking. We do have a LPD, Lansing Police Department request for $1,000, $1,055 and 72. Is that correct?
That would be correct.
All right. That's their OWI request. Ms. Robinson, have you had the opportunity to go through the pre-sentence report with Mr. Tuishimi and the translator?
I have, Your Honor.
All right. Any additions, deletions, or corrections?
No.
Allocution, Miss Robinson.
Yes, Your Honor, we would be asking the court to follow the recommendation put forward in the pre-sentence investigation report. And ask for a term of probation to be implemented. Mr. Tuyashimi, I think, would be a good candidate for probation and expresses that he's willing to complete the classes that are required of him. He's also willing to complete the treatment that has been requested. He's not currently working at the moment, but he has been in talks with a prospective employer, and they let him know that he is likely to receive a job within a week. So we would ask the court to follow the recommendation.
Thank you, Ms. Robinson. Is there anything Mr. Tuashimi would like to say to the court before the court passes sentence?
He's saying that no, he has nothing based on the review of the sentencing. He's okay, so he has no question. He's going to respect whatever is recommended.
All right. So I will follow the judgment of sentence done by probation in regards to the in regards to the sentence. All right, so I'll order that based on the guilty plea of January 24th, 2025 to the 1-year attempt R&O and the operating while intoxicated. Right, the defendant is to spend 4 days in jail. So defendant is to spend 4 days in jail with credit for 4 days. Right. So that would be no additional jail time. He gets credit for the 4 days he's already spent. So I'm sentencing him to 4 days in jail.
So when he runs out of cheetah,
I'm going to suspend 26 days upon successful completion of probation. And so no upfront jail, but there's 26 days suspended upon he has to finish his probation. Going to set fine for the 1 year and the 90-day at 200 fine, 200 cost. Crime victims' rights fee of $75, state minimum court cost fee of $50, and $360 probation at $30 a month. And that would be 400 plus 75 plus 50 plus 360 for probation. So on count one, it's $885. And then on count two, I will waive fines and costs. And then I will waive crime victims' rights and state minimum court cost fee of $50. Mostly because I'm going to order the Lansing Police Department restitution to land LPD for the operating while intoxicated at $1,055.72. And that can be paid as a course of probation. So the grand total would be, the grand total for both counts would be $1,940.72. Probation is ordered for 12 months at $30 a month. As a condition of probation, there's be no assaultive or threatening behavior. No use of possession of alcohol, marijuana, or controlled substance without a prescription. No bars or nightclubs. You should complete the following rehabilitative services, pay fees, and provide proof of completion to your probation agent for the outpatient substance abuse rehabilitative service. Obtain and maintain employment, which it appears that Mr. Tushimi is doing. Not purchase or possess firearms, ammunitions, or weapons of any kind. This conviction will be reportable to the Secretary of State in regards to the operating while intoxicated. Mr. Tuishimi, do you have any questions concerning your judgment of sentence or Ms. Robinson?
Well, I have a question about the amount he has to pay.
Right.
How is one pay?
That's between him and his probation agent, but it should be all paid within the next year. And your probation agent that I have, who wrote the report, is Brendan Hanna. All right. Mr. Tushimi, I know you don't feel young, but you are a young man today. And so we've got to decide that if you're going to have, what relationship you're going to have with alcohol, because this is not, you're not on the path of the relationship you want to have with drunk driving. So make sure you use our services as a resource, because I'm not concerned about Mr. Tuishimi within the next year because you're on probation to me. But 5 years from now, you're going to have to make a good decision concerning alcohol use, and you've got a lot of time in front of you. All right, I'm going to sign the judgment of sentence. If you will go with him to the 5th floor, just to make sure Brendan Hanna is the probation agent and make sure that we're all on the same page concerning his reporting and all that. If you could assist in that for him to the 5th floor. Otherwise, thank you for your assistance today. No, I think this is good. So that's 5th floor all the way to the right. Anything else for the record in 2401-331, Mrs. L?
Not for the people.
Ms. Robbins.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, thank you. You're all set, sir. Thank you for your assistance.
Thank you.
Does other sensing have a Spanish interpreter too?
I don't believe so.
Okay. I wasn't sure. There's that, and we don't have to. take a look at that, but I think that's pretty self-explanatory. And then Mrs. Zell, what's next?
I believe we could go on the Sebe case.
The
He has a bond violation.
Sebe?
Yeah.
Checking for non-payment of taxes with bond violation.
Mr. Sebe?
I believe I tagged it, but I'm wondering if I did. This teller was shut off and I did.
Just have a email indicating,
That's what we get.
and that was as of March 19th. All right, so we're on the record in docket 2403691. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Monroe Sebe. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mrs. Zell.
Anthony Zell, Assistant Prosecutor for the people.
Mr. Dobies.
Yes, Your Honor. Good morning, Attorney Cooper Dobies, on behalf of Mr. Sebe, who is standing to my right this morning.
All right. This is the time set for a sentencing in the matter. Mrs. Zell, is there any restitution on this matter that you know of?
No, there is not.
All right. I also have that Mr. Sebe's that he was in violation of his bond since his GPS was shut off as of March 19th, concerning that was shut off. I have it. Mr. Dobies, do you know anything about that?
Yes, Your Honor. Just briefly, my client called me, I believe it was on the day of the 19th, and informed me sort of the situation. That was before I was in receipt of, notification from the court or from pretrial services. So I suppose I would commend Mr. Sebe on that, notifying me of the situation before I had to be appraised of it by the court. It's my understanding that it is due to a financial hardship. Mr. Sebe has been on a GPS tether for some time. Actually, the pendency, or since Mr. Sebe was released from jail on pretrial release, he has been paying for the tether. He informed me it was not a situation where he cut the tether off or anything. In fact, he still has it on him as we speak here today. It was simply a financial burden, and it's my understanding that Mr. Sebe did not willfully or maliciously, maybe would be a better word, fail to pay his tether.
Right. It does appear to be a non-payment issue, but he was ordered to be on GPS, and I have my initial inquiry is that he is no longer as of May. That was March 18th, and today is March. So he was shut off on March 18th, and probably last week sometime. No, today's the 21st, so it was this week. It was 3 days ago. All right. All right. Anything to say on that, Mrs. Zell, concerning, I think he was shut off on the 18th, according to our records.
That looks correct, Your Honor. The timing of that does look proper. I will note that since it was only 3 days, the people are not extremely concerned about this violation. We understand financial hard times can happen. Additionally, Your Honor, I do believe that at our last court date, a peaceful contact between the defendant and the victim was allowed. So it almost negates the use of that GPS tether at that point.
Right.
So we wouldn't be opposed to the dismissal of that violation in all honesty.
All right. So there was a part of the GPS is to keep track of the whereabouts of Mr. Sebe, and it was peaceful contact was allowed by Judge DeLuca with Janelle Clark at the request of the victim, I would assume. And so with that understanding, the violation is dismissed with the understanding that it was just 3 days ago, and the purpose of it was from January 23rd was kind of modified for a peaceful contact with the victim. I will say that, I'll also say though, but I will take into consideration for probation violations. If he violates probations, then that becomes a problem because then it looks like he's just thumbing the nose at the court's orders. So with that understanding, Mr. Dobie, have you had the opportunity to go through the pre-sentence report with your client?
Yes, I have had a chance to review the pre-sentence materials, and I have also had a chance to discuss with Mr. Sabe the pre-sentence materials.
So let me write down, I'll dismiss the violation of the GPS, dismissed.
I did have a brief correction to the
All right.
pre-sentence report when we get
Any additions, deletions, or corrections from the pre-sentence report, Mr. Dobies?
Yes, Your Honor. On the first page of the pre-sentence report, at the very top, it discusses detainers / pending charges. I would submit to the court that Mr. Sabe turned himself in on that warrant in the case number 25-00353 FY. So I would just like the pre-sentence report to reflect that he no longer has a warrant. I believe it actually was an active warrant, but in either case, it is no longer active, and he was arraigned yesterday.
All right, I'll make that correction or that edit that he was arraigned on the file.
And I would just like to, for the court's information, that case is from the alleged events of that case are from November of 2024. That was recently authorized, obviously with a 2025 case number. So that, just so the court's aware of that.
All right. All right, allocution on behalf of your client, Mr. Dobbins.
Thank you, Your Honor. I would just like the court to know that Mr. Sabe does not have a violent history. I believe his only other offense up to this point is a driving a license suspended case. Mr. Sabe came to me to my office in a little bit of a pickle, but I believe he has done very well up to this point. He's a fantastic candidate for probation. I would ask the courts, the recommendation from the probation department is a 10-month term of probation. The only issue I have with that recommendation is there's an additional recommendation for continuation of the GPS tether, as I believe Your Honor has articulated on the record in regards to the dismissal of the contempt. I would just ask that Mr. Sabe be allowed to not to be placed on the tether for his term of probation. And the reason for that is, as Your Honor articulated, the victim in this matter has already petitioned this court and been granted peaceful contact. Mr. Sabe has been granted peaceful contact with the victim in this case. And the reason for that, as we discussed in January, was there's family between the alleged victim and my client, Mr. Sabe. And they would like to continue that peaceful contact, especially that they've been granted peaceful contact. So I believe a disruption of that peaceful contact for any further amount of time would disturb their family relationship. And I don't believe Mr. Sabe to be a danger to Ms. Janelle Clark or society in general. Mr. Sabe has always been very open and honest to me with his role in this offense. He's certainly not trying to shirk responsibility. And he's always been, always done everything I had asked him to in my representation of him. And just one more time, I'd like to reiterate, I believe he'd be a good candidate for probation, a great candidate for probation, and no need for further GPS tether. Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Sabe, is there anything you'd like to say to the court before the court passes sentence?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mrs. L.
Thank you, Your Honor. This case before you is a fairly violent case. The facts that were pled to did include strangulation, Your Honor, and it led to a very emotional state for the victim, at least momentarily. While we aren't saying that the victim still feels that fear because it's been indicated that's not clear or that's not true, we would like to just say that we do have some fear that this escalation may occur again, that there may be another argument, another fight that happens between the two people in this case that may escalate in the same way. We would ask that the recommendation of domestic violence classes in the report be followed and that those classes be for the term of the probation.
Anything else?
That is it, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right. So I believe the judgment of sentence incorporates everything in. I'm just going to tweak it a little bit. This is for the plea that occurred on January 23rd, 2025 in regards to domestic violence. It is ordered that the order that defendants spend 93 days in jail, credits given for 1 day previously served, suspend the next 92 days upon successful completion of probation. So there's no upfront jail in the matter. Fines and costs will be $250 fine, $250 cost, crime victims' rights fee of $75, state minimum court cost fee of $50, and then 10 months placed on probation for 10 months at $30 a month. And I'll give a total for that. And we'll probably print this one out because I'll change the no contact order. So that's 300 plus 125 plus 500 equals 925. For a total, probation is set for 10 months via Zoom, abide by terms of probation, pay fees and $30 per month probation oversight fee. I'm going to grant 769 for a status. That's really the great, if you finish probation, this is abstracted a different way. And that's really the key here. I'm going to indicate pursuant to the bond modification that's already been ruled on. I'm going to indicate that only peaceful contact with the victim, Janelle Ember Clark. So I'll amend that to read only peaceful contact with Janelle Ember Clark, pursuant to family events, I will put. Pursuant to family events. So any contact with Janelle Ember Clark should be peaceful in nature. No assaultive or threatening behavior. No use of possession of alcohol, marijuana, or controlled substance without a prescription. Submit to random PBTs and or urinalysis as directed. No bars or nightclubs. Complete the following rehabilitative services, pay fees, and provide proof of completion in the court. And then you should complete. And your probation officer is Jody Bayless, I believe. She did the report. That for any counseling for any rehabilitative services for domestic abuse at the request of your probation agent. Obtain and maintain employment, not purchase or possess firearms, ammunitions, or weapons of any kind. Or do you have any questions concerning the judgment of sentence, Mr. Dobie or Mr. Sebe?
I do, Your Honor. So in light of the peaceable contact, would Mr. Sebe be allowed to have his tether removed?
Yes, GPS can be removed. And you'd probably get that done in Mason that's where the services is, and we'll email them so they see you coming. Okay, since you have a contact, then there would be no reason to have that. I'm kind of surprised they didn't do it on January 23rd, but it was probably left for the sentencing date today. So GPS is removed. There is a no contact order. So keep in mind that if Ms. Clark contacts the prosecutor's office or the probation department and indicates that you've had something less than peaceful contact, you could be violated. All right. That's only a warning so you understand that, I mean, you've got to be really careful. All right. Any other questions, Mr. Dobie?
No, thank you, Your Honor.
Mr. Sebe, do you have any questions concerning the judgment of sentence today?
No, Your Honor.
Mrs. L.
No, Your Honor.
All right. I will sign the judgment of sentence accordingly. And Mr. Sebe, it probably wouldn't hurt to go down and make sure you're on the same page with Ms. Bayless in regards to what she needs and any type of Zoom setup where she's going to see you. All right, sir?
Yes, sir.
That's all for the record in 2403-691. Thank you for your appearance, everybody.
All right, thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, Your Honor.
So the other file's out of a different district, right?
No, it's here.
No, it's here, it's in Ward's court.
It's in Ward's court, okay. So that's not a part of that, whatever the plea agreement was, that's going forward, okay.
I didn't even know about it until today, so.
Well, it's a 24 file, it's a 24 case, 24 fact pattern, but it was issued now, so, all right.
Your Honor,
Yes,
if it helps the question at all, part of the reason it may not be aware is I was actually the one who participated in his arraignment yesterday.
All right.
LPD arraignment.
all right,
Good morning, Your Honor.
okay. Good morning, Mr. Harris. All right, what case did you want to call next, Mrs. L?
If we could check and see who the attorneys
Yeah, Miss-
are here for.
Mr. Johnson is here. I'm assuming that's for,
Luke Goodrich informed me he's ready to go on.
all right, and Mr. Goodrich is here on Centeno. Did you want to put Centeno on the record?
I think that would be a great move. And then if we could move to Granado after that.
All right. All right, Mr. Goodrich, I think we're ready on Centeno that we've been, so we're on the record in docket 22-01240 and 24-02906. That is the people of the state of Michigan versus Enrique Centeno. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mrs. L.
Gabrielle Zell, Assistant Prosecutor for the People.
Mr. Goodrich.
Attorney Luke Goodrich from the Public Defender's Office here to represent Mr. Centeno on file 24-2906FY, and I would defer to Mr. Lee on the other matter.
All right, and Mr. Lee, you're here on 22-01240, is that correct?
That's correct, Your Honor.
All right, thank you, Mr. Lee. This is the time set for forensic review on both of these. I will indicate my understanding and then allow counsel to supplement the record. It is my understanding that there were some emails back and forth concerning, but the evaluation has been done on Mr. Centeno concerning the packet that was entered, and now we're just awaiting the report. Is that a fair statement, Ms. Zell?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Goodrich.
It is not, Your Honor. That is
Okay.
not what has happened. He was scheduled for to be evaluated. It was a week or two ago, and he ended up being admitted to the hospital with an infection for 6 days. As a
Okay.
result, we got the matter rescheduled. It is scheduled for April 1st at 9 a.m. Mr. Centeno is going to come to my office, and we are going to have it done over Zoom. So we've already arranged that with the Forensic Center at this time.
All right, and Mr. Goodrich, you indicated the same yesterday when we spoke about this. I just forgot about that. That you indicated that you were going to be that the interview for forensic was going to take place at your office. The interview and then the report was going to be done. But you did indicate that the interview was going to take place at your office, and you'd set it up for April 1st. Is that correct?
That is correct.
Mr. Goodrich told me that yesterday, and I completely forgot. So that's odd. So is that a fair statement, Mrs. Zell?
That is, Your Honor.
All right. And then, Mr. Lee, that's your understanding. You've got the misdemeanor in this file that we're waiting for the April 1st evaluation.
That is my understanding, Your Honor.
All right. All right. So based on the representations of counsel and that the packet was submitted on the felony matter, we will adjourn it. Do you have some date in mind? I don't know when they'll have the report done.
They're
So
supposed to
May
be
1st
done within 56 days of the evaluation. Sometimes it's quicker
All
than
right.
that, but it's supposed to be a maximum of 56 days after the evaluation date.
So let's set it for 30 days after the evaluation, just to see where it's at, and therefore we don't lose track of the files. And then we know that we've got at least 30 more days, or somewhat less, 26 days after that for the evaluation to be done, and then we can indicate to them that they've got that amount of time. I'm sure they're aware of it, but that way we keep track of the file and we don't lose any traction concerning either one of these files. This is one felony file, and then we have the assault and battery misdemeanor file that Mr. Lee's on. That's obviously following the felony file in regards to the packet. Any objection to the 30-day, so the May 1st adjournment, Mrs. L?
No objection, Your Honor.
Mr. Goodrich,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee?
No objection, Your Honor.
All right, so we'll adjourn. The evaluation is supposed to take place on April 1st. 2025, and we'll adjourn to May 1st for report to see what our status is on that report. And it'll be May 1st, May 1st at?
9.
May 1st at 9 o'clock. And then we'll set file 22-01240, the assault and battery will indicate that this is adjourned for forensic evaluation.
Bringing them in here in just a minute.
On April 1st, or it's scheduled to be on April 1st. And we'll adjourn for report. On May 1st. At 9. For pretrial. We'll set the pretrial at the same time of the felony. All right, anything else for the record in 24-020-06, the felony, or 22-01240, the misdemeanor, Mrs. L?
Not for the people.
Mr. Goodrich,
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Lee.
Nothing further. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You should be all set on those files. Thank you, everybody, for your appearance.
All right, thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so we're on the record in 25-00625. That is People of the State of Michigan versus Juan Granado. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mrs. L.
Gabrielle Zell, Assistant Prosecutor for the people.
Mr. Milks.
And good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Milks on behalf of Mr. Granado. Mr. Granado is present and standing to my right.
And sir, you are Juan Jose Granado, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you. This is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mrs. L, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that we will be leaving this set for a preliminary examination.
And is that a fair statement, Mr. Milks?
That is, Your Honor, yes.
So we'll leave on for preliminary examination for March 28th. That's a week from today at 8:30. And that'll be live unless I hear differently from the parties. So it's live on the 6th floor, just like now, okay? And you'll receive notice from my court officer, Ms. Slaviak. Anything else for the record in 25-00625, Mrs. L?
Not for the people.
Mr. Mills?
No, thank you, sir.
All right, Mr. Granado, you're all set. We'll see you next week at 8:30, okay, sir? Thank you. All right, and then we have Mr.
Violet. How do you look?
All right, so we're on the record in 25-00609. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Mark Hudson. Mr. Hudson, you'll have to move the camera down so I can see you. Perfect. All right, so we're appearances for the record of Mrs. L.
Gabrielle Giselle, Assistant Prosecutor for the people.
Mr. Palmer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Robert Palmer, the Public Defender's Office, on behalf of Mr. Hudson, who appears today via Zoom.
And sir, you are Mark Hudson, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And you can hear me all right, Mr. Hudson?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mrs. L, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that we're going to be leaving this up for preliminary examination.
And is that a fair statement, Mr. Palmer?
That is a fair statement, Your Honor. I've had very good contact with Mr. Hudson. I have no issues. I know he knows that he needs to be here in person next week, but he was allowed to appear via Zoom today. We'll leave the matter set.
All right. So Mr. Hudson, I will see you at 8:30 next Friday, live in 6th floor of City Hall of Lansing. Anything else for the record so this will go on March 28th at 8:30. Anything else for the record on docket 25-00609, Mrs. L?
Not for the people.
Mr. Palmer.
No, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Hudson, we'll see you next week at this time. All right, sir?
Okay, thank you.
It'll actually be at 8:30.
Okay.
You're all set.
Judge, I don't know. Do we know if that's Mr. Moshi by any chance?
Says sales iPhone.
It does
Yes,
say
it
sales
is.
item.
So are you Moshi LWIS?
Yes, that's correct.
All right. Did you want to go on that, Mr. Palmer? Did you want to meet with them?
I guess I need to meet with them because I've tried calling Mr. Moshi multiple times this week and have not heard
So
back.
if you join us, we'll just throw you in a breakout room.
Sure. Thank you. I'll step in the hall.
All right. All right, Mr. Lewis. So Mr. Lewis, I'm going to place you in a breakout room with your public defender, and then we'll place it on the record. So you should get a prompt to go to room 1, and then I'll place your Mr. Palmer, your public defender, in the same room, and then we can come back and put the probable cause conference on the record. Okay, sir?
Okay. Okay, yes, Your Honor.
All right, so you should get a prompt to go to room 1.
Okay.
Mr. Johnson, we're ready to call your case if you're ready to go on Mr. Mayan. Or Miss,
It's
is it
Miss
Mayan?
Mayan. Yes, I am, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. All right. So we're on the record in docket 25-00759. That is people of the state of Michigan versus Agil Mayan. Will the parties please introduce themselves to the record? Miss Azell.
Gabrielle Giselle, Assistant Prosecutor for the people.
Mr. Johnson.
Good morning, man. Please, this honorable court, Kareem Johnson, appearing on behalf of Ms. Mayan.
And ma'am, you are Agil Mayan, is that correct?
My name is Aguel Mayan, but yes.
Aguel Mayan, okay. And you can hear me all right, Miss Mayan?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mrs. L, how are we proceeding? And then I'll turn it over to Mr. Johnson.
Thank you, Your Honor. At this time, we would like to place a plea offer on the record for the defense's consideration to preserve it. This would be an offer of a plea to the misdemeanor malicious destruction of property with a promise to pay restitution and a promise of forfeiture of the taser that was involved in this case. Upon successful plea and sentencing, we would be dismissing the remainder of the counts.
All right, and you expect that this will be left on for prelim now that you've placed the term on the term of the offer on the record?
I do, Your Honor.
Mr. Johnson.
Yeah, and I've accepted that offer. Well, I've heard that offer. I'm trying to write it down. I will email the prosecution so I can get it in writing, make sure I can explain it correctly to my client. At this time, we'd ask the matter be continued for preliminary examination.
All right, so we will leave on for preliminary examination for March 28th at 9 o'clock. So, ma'am, that'll be live on the 6th floor City Hall of Lansing at 9 a.m. on March 28th. And then Mr. Johnson will relay to you, once he gets it in writing, the offer that was placed on the record and give you some time to consider that offer. All right, ma'am?
Okay, yes, yes, Your Honor.
All right.
Your Honor, is it
Go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
Your Honor, is it possible that we can have a different day? That's the week of spring break.
March 28th, we can give you a different day, but she'd have to waive her. And here's the problem. She'd have to waive her 21-day rule because we'd have to set it post April 21st because we don't have the first three weeks of April because I'm not here because of surgery.
Oh, okay.
So I kind of can, I'll leave it up to you and the prosecutor if you want to move that date, but I don't think I'll be back till, I don't think after the 21st. And that's the Friday before I'm off.
Okay.
Your Honor,
Well, Your Honor, what I'll do is
Go ahead, Mr. Johnson.
So what I'll do is I'll talk to my client because if we're going to resolve this matter, then maybe I can participate via Zoom and get this taken care of. And if not, we'll do the waiver and the step.
All right. I will accept the waiver of the stip and order waiver of 21 days if we go that route. If not, we can the 28th can be done via Zoom. Ms. Vine, you'll have to be here in person to plead, but Mr. Johnson may be able to be here via Zoom concerning the matter. And I can always place you in a breakout room to talk to Mr. Johnson concerning anything resolving this case. You understand that, ma'am?
Yes, I do.
Does that work okay, Mr. Johnson?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. All right. So we've set it for March 28th, next Friday at this date. We'll wait to hear from the parties concerning if that date works. Anything else for the record in 2500759, Mrs. L?
Not for the people.
Mr. Johnson?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Vine, please keep in contact with your attorney, Mr. Johnson. We've set it for March 28th at 9 o'clock, but that date may change. All right, ma'am?
Okay.
All right. You're all set. Thank you for your appearance today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Johnson.
All right. Thank you, Your Honor.
So, Mr. Pfeiffer, we're going to call Van Atten, the two PCCs, but Mr. Harries is here on the sentencing. So we're just bringing him up to go on all three.
Sounds good, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
On a unrelated matter, but figured you guys should know about this as well. Apparently, Regina Pulaski at Abood Law had her email hacked. So if you receive anything from her with a attachment, don't open it.
Don't open the
That's
attachment.
so helpful because I got one from her today and I wasn't going to open it because it was sketchy.
Ah,
And then she
well.
emailed me and said, you need to open it. And I was like, I'm not opening this.
Yeah, Wilson just emailed around to our office, but given that the court and the public defenders aren't on that email chain, Thought I'd let you guys
Right.
know.
Good to know. Good to know.
OneNote file.
Also on the email chain.
And it said, it said, formal legal matter, and
Yep.
I was like, well.
Formal
that's not
legal
specific
action.
enough for me to open. Not trusting that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just, I want to be included.
What I would expect is a lot of emails from Mr. Milk saying formal legal matter. thinking that that's really funny, you know? and then indicating in court, like I emailed the prosecutor and I said formal legal matter and I never received a response.
I was trying to be formal about
it. Which I think is really funny, but nobody's asking me.
I am. I'm gonna send all your discovery requests responses with formal
legal matter.
Mail.
Paper Hugh Clark used to put at the bottom of all his correspondence carpe diem and seize the day. And we were in a fight with him from the prosecutor's office, and Sam Smith says, I'm tired of getting all this paperwork from Hugh Clark on this. I think it was a CSC or a murder charge. And he said, how should I respond? I said, well, he put seize the day or carpe diem at the bottom of his, just put seize your ankles, in Latin. And so Sam put it on all of his litigation. And Hugh Clark was like, I do not appreciate that. I thought that was really funny. It's funny how we amuse ourselves. I mean, that's complete amusement for nobody but our own entertainment.
Oh yeah, that is 90% of my emails. Easily.
Carpe, I think it was Carpe Tarsus. Seize your ankles. That's from Sam Smith. Yeah. Sam Smith and Hugh Clark was a judge, and Sam Smith ran for judge, and this is how they were entertaining themselves.
You gotta find some way to entertain yourself in this game.
Yeah, you've got it's if you don't entertain yourself, you're gonna go insane.
Yes.
In docket 25-00727, That is People of the State of Michigan versus, is it LWIS Louis Moshi?
Yes.
Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mrs. L.
Gabrielle Izal, Assistant Prosecutor for the People.
Mr. Palmer.
Thank you, Your Honor. Robert Palmer on behalf of Mr. Moshi, who appears today via Zoom.
And sir, you are Louis Moshi, is that correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
All right, you can hear me all right, Mr. Moshi?
Yes, I can.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mrs. Zell, how are we proceeding today? Would you like to defer to Mr. Palmer?
Your Honor, it's my understanding that we'll be leaving this set for a preliminary exam. I'll defer to Mr. Palmer for additional.
Is that a fair statement, Mr. Palmer?
Yes, Your Honor. It turns out that I had not met with Mr. Moshi prior to today. Turns out that the phone number we had for him is actually shut off. He has provided me with a different phone number today. We did have a brief conversation. We will have more conversations off the record, but as of right now, we are leaving the matter set preliminary.
All right, so this is set for Friday, March 28th at 8:30, left on for preliminary examination. That's Friday, March 28th at 8:30. So it'll be live in person on the 6th floor of City Hall of Lansing. Mr. Moshi, you should come in person, all right, sir?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Anything else for the record in 2500727, Mrs. L?
Not for the People.
Mr. Palmer?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mr. Moshi, we'll see you next week at 8:30.
Yes, Your Honor.
You're all set. Thank you for your appearance today. And then, Mr. Harries, are we ready to bring up Mr. Van Atten?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, so let Megan go pick up, and then let's put Mr. Ruffin on. We can explain. So we're on the record in docket 2402385. I'm sorry. This is been given the number of J961546, J961546. That is a motion by Christopher Ruffin, application to set aside a conviction. A party's appearances for the record of Mrs. L.
Gabrielle Izal, Assistant Prosecutor for the People.
And sir, you are Christopher Ruffin, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a motion to set aside conviction. And so this is the note that was left. Sean Farnham is our takes care of this, is the manager of the motions to set aside. He said a motion and application to set aside conviction set for March 21st at 10 a.m. with Judge Flores. That's me. MSP reports on file. That's defendant to submit proof of service prior to hearing. Applicant is pro per. And that's the miscommunication. That's we lost the communication concerning this. He sent you a letter on February 26th with the indication of the notice of hearing.
Correct.
And you signed it and sent it in.
Yes.
Okay. And we have not received any proof of service from the Ingham County Prosecutor's Office or the Attorney General's Office indicating that they received it. All right.
Okay.
So let's give it back to Mr. Farnham so that, because I need a letter from the AG saying they don't object to the motion set aside and the prosecutor's office. And I don't think Mrs. L, I don't think you even have a file on this.
I do not. Your Honor.
Yeah. And usually what I do is the AG will send a letter,
Okay.
and then the prosecutor will check into it once they get the file. And usually this goes without objection, okay? But without the proof of service, we can't do the process.
Okay, so the proof of service is what they have to say that they received.
So I would resend it. I'm gonna give you a copy of it.
Okay.
Okay, because for whatever, because this is what they'll get. I certify that copies of this application and certified record of conviction and notice of hearing were served on, and then prosecuting official, attorney general. So you're an indication that you served each of them.
Yes.
You sent them a letter.
Sure.
That is what we're looking for, the proof of service. I don't have any of that. So I don't have any indication that the attorney general got it or that they got it. You probably should fill it out when you send it next time.
Yeah, you said I filled that out. Was I supposed to? The way it comes in the letter?
You can, but you fill it out and then you send it to us.
Oh, I sent it to the prosecuting attorney, and that's what
you can send it to them.
Yeah, I did.
You have to send them that it's a notice of hearing.
Okay.
For whatever reason, the prosecutor and the AG didn't get it.
Okay.
So, but we we need the proof of service so we can say, how come you didn't get it? If the proof of service is filled out.
Okay,
So I would send him the notice of hearing again,
okay.
and then I would send him the proof of service, and then make sure you send this to us.
Okay, which one is the notice of hearing, notice of proof of service?
Notice of hearing is on top of the proof of service. So what you're saying is I sent this, and the proof of service is proof that you sent it, and it's signed by yourself.
Okay,
Yeah. So that's the process is, look, I sent this. This is proof that I sent it,
Right.
and I sign it, and I send it to the court.
okay, now, the last one they sent me on February 26th, what was that? Was that the proof of service or was that the proof of hearing?
That was February 26th was the letter sent to you.
And I got the letter, but what was?
Yeah, by
what was the
Mr. Farnham.
Yeah, what was the paper he sent me with?
He
that?
said, I'm gonna make you a copy of it.
Okay.
It's a notice of hearing on top and the proof of service on this.
Okay, so the other ones were submitted because they were submitted at a different time?
I don't know because I don't have the proof of service, so I don't know when they were submitted.
Because I submitted my application in and I had to come back up and see Sean because one was, they were on the same form, they had to be separate.
Right.
They changed the forms.
It's not unusual for this to happen.
Okay. Your
For
Honor.
a pro per, because this is what lawyers do. They do the proof of service. And I know this is a pro per, so,
Yes.
so let's do it again to make sure. Sean will probably set this for hearing again, I would think.
Once he has all the documents. he'll-
Yeah.
Okay.
So he's supposed to set it once he receives all the documents. I think he set it and then waited for the documents in this one.
Okay.
And then we have this problem,
Okay.
the problem. So we'll reschedule, we'll adjourn the hearing. That way you don't have to redo everything.
Okay.
We'll adjourn the hearing. There's no proof of service. And then Megan, my court officer, will make a copy of Sean's letter once, and then the proof of service he put in with it.
Okay.
And then you can go from there. All right.
Okay.
sir?
All right.
All
Appreciate
right.
it.
And then Sean, Mr. Farnham will reset it
Okay.
for another hearing.
Okay.
Oh, wait. So we'll adjourn the hearing. And then Mrs. Zell, with your office, they'll wait for the notification, and the AG usually sends a letter indicating.
Okay.
And there was no letter in the file, but there was no proof of service in the file.
Okay.
All right. All right, Mrs. Zell, anything else for the record? In docket. And we gave this number J961546. Anything else for the record on that file, Mrs. Zell?
Not for the people.
All right, Mr. Ruffin, we'll provide you, and I will set it. I will mark it at the bottom. The copies. I just put my initials on the bottom, and then you should get a new set, and then you can provide the proof of service. Contact Mr. Farnham for the new date.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. All right. I put my initials on the corner. Should be the letter and then this. Yep, those two, correct. All right, Miss Zell, who did you want to call next? I guess we have Mr. Van Atten.
I believe that is the only cases we have.
Oh, did you want to go on the PCC first and then the sentencing?
Sure.
Okay. Sure. All right.
It doesn't really affect me too much.
No, it really doesn't. All right, let's go on the PCC with Mr. Milks, and then we'll go on the sentencing.
Looks like he has.
All right. There's two PCC files and then one sentencing file.
Thank you.
All right, so we're on the record in docket 25-00701 and 25-00714. That is People of the State of Michigan versus DeAnthony Van Atten. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Ms. Azell.
Going to be Mr. Pfeiffer.
Oh, Mr. Pfeiffer, that's right.
Yep.
Mr. Pfeiffer.
Good
There was a
morning, Your
reason
Honor.
you're here.
There is. I rarely come in just for the fun of it. So, good morning, Your Honor. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Adam Pfeiffer on behalf of the people.
Mr. Milks.
And good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Milks on behalf of Mr. Van Atten. Mr. Van Atten is present and staying to my right.
And sir, you are DeAnthony Van Atten, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a probable cause conference. Mr. Pfeiffer, how are we proceeding today?
Your Honor, the people are requesting that each of these files be left on for examination. At this time, the people have no offer for the defendant. My office, any type of negotiation or resolution, believes should be happening at the circuit court for these files.
All right, and Mr. Milks, you heard the request of the prosecutor. Do you have any response?
No response, Your Honor. Just leaving this matter on for the preliminary examination.
All right. So we'll leave on for preliminary examination on March 28th at 8:30. For both files, 25-00701 and 25-00714. We're leaving on for March 28th at 8:30. That'll be live in person on the 6th floor of City Hall of Lansing. Anything else for the record on either of these files, Mr. Pfeiffer?
No, Your Honor.
Mr. Milks?
No, thank you, sir.
All right, you're all set. So we'll see you next Friday at 8:30. You'll be brought over. All right, sir?
All right.
All right, thank you. And then we're here on a sensing. So you're all set, Mr. Pfeiffer. Thanks for being so patient.
Patient too.
I'm in my office.
Yes,
I can
you
be
were,
as
Mr.
patient
Milks.
as I need to be.
And everybody was patient with you.
I am going to stick around just to observe the sentencing, however.
All right. All right, so we're on the record in dockets 24-02385. That is City of Lansing, people of the state of Michigan versus DeAnthony Van Atten. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record? Mrs. L.
Gabrielle Zell, Assistant Prosecutor for the people.
Mr. Harris.
Assistant Public Defender James Harris here on behalf of Mr. Van Atten, who's standing to my right, Your Honor.
And once again, sir, you are DeAnthony Van Atten, is that correct?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. This is the time set for a sentencing in the matter. And is there any restitution on this matter, Mrs. L?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Mr. Harris, have you had the opportunity to go through the pre-sentence report with your client?
Yes, Your Honor, I do note it's a bit of an older report from October of last year, and things have obviously changed since then. And I can go into that further in allocution.
All right. Any additions, deletions, or corrections from the October 31st report?
I would note that the custody section for the credit he has served, he was picked up on the warrant on this case and the new felonies on March 6th. So I believe now that should be an additional 15 days of credit for a grand total of 18 days.
All right. All right. Allocution, Mr. Harris.
Yes, Your Honor. Regarding Mr. Van Atten, I went over the pre-sentence report with him and the original recommendation of 14 days in custody, credit for 3 days, and 11 days suspended upon successful completion of a 6-month term of probation with a recommendation for, well, with an order for moral recognition therapy, submitting to random alcohol and drug testing, and maintaining employment. Obviously, given the felony cases and that he has picked up in the meantime, he is now currently in custody on a bond on each case of 25,000 cash or surety, which he is not realistically able to post. And it's unlikely he's going to be able to get out of jail anytime soon to participate in any kind of probation. However, he has indicated to me that while he is in custody, he is participating in CATS programming classes there, as well as working towards getting his GED while he is in jail. Honestly, Your Honor, given the upcoming felony cases and the inability of him to post that bond and get out of jail to participate in any terms of probation, I would simply be requesting that the court sentence him to the 14 days credit for the 18 days he's already served, and then refer any possible fines and costs to collections with any fines and costs that can be waived given his indigency status and the fact that he is not exactly in a position to put much time or money towards those fines and costs right now, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. Mr. Van Hatten, is there anything you'd like to say to the court before the court passes sentence?
Only thing I'll just say is the reason why I didn't miss my sentencing date was because I was in the hospital with my daughter. She does have, she's on oxygen. She was born 5 months early. She was sick with she had, what is it? I don't know what the sick was, but she was really sick. And I have like doctor reports to show too. And that's really it.
Okay, that was for the November 4th sentencing.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you indicated the same to the magistrate.
Yes, sir.
All right. Mrs. L, is there anything you'd like to bring to the court's attention concerning the sentencing in this matter?
No, Your Honor, we leave this to the court's discretion.
All right. So I understand completely. First of all, I don't consider, at this point, you're not a candidate for probation just because I don't see it in the works right now. I think that we're supposed to help you in district court, and I don't think that would be helping you in district court. I agree with your attorney that you've got bigger fish to fry on some level that we've got to figure out. And so I'm going to indicate that this is for a guilty plea on September 9th, 2024 for the 1-year attempted R&O. The defendant is to spend 30 days in jail, credit for 18 days previously served. And then, so that'll be 12 days in jail extra. And then I'm not putting you on probation. I'm going to waive any fines and costs at this matter. No crime victims' rights fee, no state minimum court cost fee, no probation. So there'll be nothing to refer to collections. So you've got 18 days previously served, credit for 18 days. I'm sentencing to 30, so it'll be 12 more days on this matter, and then you're done with this matter. All right, that'll be and then there'll be nothing be referred for fines and cost purposes, and I'm not putting you on probation. And then you can address your felony matters when you get to that. And then I'll need a new public, obviously, because they don't want me to write all that out. Do you understand the sentence, Mr. Van Atten?
Yes, sir.
All right. Anything else for the record in 24023385? Mr. Harry's on the judgment of sentence.
No, Your Honor, thank you.
All right, Mrs. L.
No, thank you.
All right, you're all set, Mr. Van Atten. And we'll see you next Friday on your other files.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Yeah.
Yeah, I missed something. All right.
I told you. It does. It really does.
Mr. Harris, would you be so kind to grab those things?
Certainly, Ms. Holden.
Thank you.
Anything for a previous?
Thank you very much. That's great.
All right. Very well, yeah. Perfect. 3. We don't need all my writing on that.
Yeah, when you started that, I was
Yeah,
like,
that's
okay,
yeah,
we're paying
that's-
attention now.
All right, I think you're all set for the day. I think I've got some weddings this afternoon.
Okay, that's a good afternoon.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
That's right.
You're the probation pastor.
I have the probation for this. No way.
I understand that. Starts as a.
This is.
And see you all next week.
All right, take care.
Bye, Dan.
It's upbringing as a child.
Okay, Judge, do you remember how to launch DCR for the weekend?
Yeah, I just use my credentials.
And then push the big red buttons.
And then push the big red button.
Okay.
Would you like me to get the
Who's-
door in this
who's-
moment? Or I guess not because.
Who's from the PD's office for this weekend?
No, James, I would leave it open, please, because it might be Barton Buxton.
That's prosecutor's office.
Oh, would you ask me?
Public defender.
Jacob Riley.
Okay.
Sorry, that's
gonna
the
say,
second time I've given for someone the APA instead of.
So
defense
Jacob
attorney.
Riley is
I have it
from
out.
the
I have it written
PD.
down for you.
Okay, perfect.
Yep, I made you a cheat sheet.
And
I feel like I should at least do something.
Thank you, Your Honor, in this holiday.
All right,
You're
Mr.
welcome.
Harris,
Have a good
take
weekend.
care.